Welcome to another VeChain update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And speaking of the daily updates, yesterday we posted like 1 million of them and most of them are actually very important. So for like $5, you get access to all of this and you even get access to the charts and also the chat that we have right here. So check out the memberships and let's talk about VeChain. So VeChain is not looking too great right now. I still think that we would drop below the 0.618 support level again, and I know not many people are bullish about that because we already dropped to that extension multiple times, but it's a possibility and you have to be aware of the fact that Ethereum is currently dropping and VeChain seems to be dropping with it, and I will talk about that more soon. But first let me talk about the 4-hour chart and let me tell you what's going on. So we're currently at the 0.786 support level of the third wave up here, and yeah, that's not really bullish. We did not manage to form 5 waves here, and I did tell you that if we do not form 5 waves, VeChain could always get another low in the main second wave right here, and it looks like we will do that. Now VeChain, it's not in a good position because if we do get another low, the last chance to bounce would be at the 0.786 support level, and that's at 1.7 cents. And if we do not bounce there and if we drop below the support zone, it's actually likely that if VeChain has already topped for this cycle. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think VeChain will actually do very, very well in the third wave. And speaking of the third wave right here, if support level holds, we could get a third wave very, very soon. This will be the third wave of this 1-2 setup on the chart. And the minimum target for this is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup, and that's at 23 cents. Of course, after that, we will need a fourth and a fifth wave move up. Keep in mind, some altcoins will not get a 4MA5, and VeChain is a good example for this. In the previous cycle, after it got this top in April, it never managed to get back above it at the end of the year. Some altcoins actually got back above this high right here, but VeChain did not, so it's likely that it actually tops in the third wave, but it's also likely that it gets a 4MA5, so we'll see what it does. Now, I want to talk about the second wave right here because, like I said, it's not looking too good, and what we have on the chart right here, this 1, 2, 3, 4 setup, it's a diagonal, and I'm not a fan of this because diagonals are not really the most, let's just say, trusting structures. So I think we could drop, below the low right here and get to like 1.7 cents. Now I want to talk about Ethereum because Ethereum is very important right now. Well, before I do that, let me talk about Bitcoin actually, because Bitcoin is doing something very interesting right now. And I know not many people will like what I have to say right now because, I'm expecting Bitcoin to actually drop to $75,000 because we got rejected by the bull market support band. I know in the short term that sounds like a bad thing, but in the long term this is actually going to be very bullish. Keep in mind the Fed meeting is on March 19th, and if we actually want to start QE and if we want QT to end, we kind of need a drop like this, and if we get a drop like this, we should then bounce after we start QE, hopefully on March 19th, and when that happens and when QE starts, that will be the perfect time for Bitcoin dominance to finally get this move to the downside that it got in the 2021 cycle and in the 2017 cycle, and I think this is going to happen extremely soon. I've been talking about Bitcoin dominance for a very long time now, so it will start dropping in my opinion by the end of March, so that has not really changed, and if we do not start dropping by the end of March, it's obviously not going to be good because the market will most likely drop during the summer, and if the altcoins are not able to get to the previous all-time highs or at least near the previous all-time highs by the end of May, when we do get that drop in the summer, some altcoins will even get to, new bear market lows, because during that time Bitcoin will go down a lot, and I mean a lot. In the previous 3 cycles, I think in the previous cycle it went down like 55%, in the 2017 cycle it went down like 45%, and in the first cycle it went down like 70%, and both of these things all of these things happened at the exact same time of the cycle during the summer, and I think we will get this drop, which means that after Bitcoin gets this move right here and gets to like $140,000, maybe even $150,000 by the end of May, then it will drop during the summer. Everybody will think that the bull market is over, only for it to bounce again at the end of the year. And yeah, this is important for VeChain because if that happens and if Bitcoin actually starts going up by, let's say, the end of March, or let's say at least by the beginning of April, then VeChain should start doing something like this because, like I said, we're expecting QE to start, which means means that the altcoins will start outperforming Bitcoin, and when Bitcoin goes up and it's being outperformed, that's when the altcoins go up more, and that's when the altcoin season starts. Now, I want to talk about Ethereum chart for a second, because what's happening on the Ethereum chart is extremely important. I went ahead and changed the wave count because a lot of stuff got invalidated, and I actually think that Ethereum is in a fourth wave move down. As you can see, we reacted to the 50% extension multiple times and we got below it right now, which means that the most likely scenario is that Ethereum drops to the 0.618 extension. I know not many people are a fan of that idea, but it's likely that Ethereum drops to about $1,792 and then we get a bounce. And like I said, if that happens, it's going to be bullish because it will most likely mean that QE will start on March 19th. So, I mean, I am expecting a drop on the Ethereum chart. It broke below support levels and it invalidated a lot of stuff, which means that we are in a fourth wave, and it could mean that we will drop to the 0.618 golden ratio before we continue with the fifth wave and we get to new all-time highs by the end of the year. So I think this will still happen, but in the short term, I am bearish on VeChain, and that's not really a bad thing. So don't just dislike the video because I'm short-term bearish. If I'm short-term bearish, that does not mean that I don't think the VeChain chart will not at least try to get to new all-time highs in this cycle. It's far from it, so I think that will happen if we actually hold support levels, and VeChain is still looking extremely good. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, I mean, let me actually, look at it. I mean, it's not loading, so I don't know what's happening right here. We are just waiting for it to load. Come on already. Alright, we have the weekly chart, so it's currently not oversold. However, we were overbought up here, and then after we were overbought, we got a correction, and the RSI is currently at 41, which is very good. So, I mean, we could get another drop, and maybe we will get to the oversold territory, and if that happens, I mean, that has never happened before, so it would obviously be very, very bullish, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We will most likely find support right here at these lows, like we did. I mean, we found support here multiple times in the past, so yeah, I'm pretty bullish on VeChain, no matter if I'm, short-term bearish, and yeah, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out the memberships. They are like $5 and you get access to a lot of stuff. And like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.